greatest con that he ever pulled was making you believe that he is you.
You ain't me.
I am you!
You're not me.
Come on! You don't know the power of the dark side.
You're an interesting species. An interesting mix. You're capable of such beautiful dreams. And such horrible nightmares.
Use your aggressive feeling, boy. Let the heat flow through you.
You know life without me? Do you know life without me? No! Because it doesn't exist. Fear me. Fear me. Fear me.
So when we think about something, we picture it in our mind, that perfect relationship or peace between nations. But we can only invite it into our lives when we breathe the power of emotion into that thought. The emotion comes from the lower three of those creative centers in our bodies. So when we breathe the power of emotion into our thought, we imbue that thought with life. And those two energies meet in the one center that is not accounted for yet in our model. It's in our heart. Because that's what it does. Our heart is creating electrical and magnetic waves that are influencing the world around us based on what we think and the emotion that we breathe into those thoughts to create the feeling. So now we've just defined feeling. Feeling, by definition, from the Sanskrit tradition, is the union of thought and emotion that creates the feeling. Now what makes this really interesting is that those traditions say we are capable of only two primary emotions: love, and whatever we feel the opposite of love is. And when you get really deep into the teachings, there are two aspects of the same thing. But what they say is when we have our thought, we are either breathing the love of that thought or our fear of that thought to create the feeling. And the feeling then becomes sadness or joy or compassion or anger. Those are not emotions, those are feelings. Now for some people they say, well, you know, you're nitpicking. What difference could it make? And these are the subtle differences between these ancient ways of viewing this inner technology. It's literally a technology. Because we can have the same thought or the same affirmation and imbue it with a different emotion and have completely different feelings and create a different outcome. And this is the great secret that was edited out of our Christian and pre-Christian Judeo-Christian traditions. When 45 books were removed in the 4th century, 20 were taken out completely. Another 25 were condensed and rearranged. And we know this because we found the information now in the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Nag Hammadi Library, the Coptic the Gnostic texts. So we know what those texts would have said if we had had them. But the interesting thing is, without those texts, we tend to rely upon the written word, the validation, to feel that power in our bodies. I think everyone senses or suspects that there's an untapped potential in the human body. I've been on every continent of the earth, and I've asked every audience I've ever been in, do you feel that that's there? And they say, yes. We feel there's something there, but we just can't quite get it. Why is that? So we have a feeling that there's more to us, but we rely on a written validation in a 5,000-year-old text or a scientific study to tell us that it's true. And this is, I think, the value of going into those texts, as we get to see the words that literally say, in the Gospel of Thomas, the lost Gospel of Thomas, it literally says, when these two become one, when thought and emotion become one, then you'll say to the mountain, move, and the mountain will move. And I used to think that that was a metaphor. And I now have seen enough to know that moving a cancerous tumor inside the body of a living woman, that's moving a mountain to me. And it's all done from marrying thought and emotion together.
What you pay attention to, you become conscious of. Period. So if you pay attention to raising the cellular vibration in your body, then that indeed is what will occur. Just like if you pay attention to how much toothpaste you put on the tube, you're not going to waste it. I mean, it's that literal, folks. And what has been the problem in the past is that most folks didn't believe that. And this is a co-creation. The more people think they're disempowered, the more of a drag it is on everybody. And the more individuals empower themselves, the more it liberates or lightens the load on everybody. Creation is totally on our side.